Ooh la la, 3 wins out of 3, ladies and gentlemen. Can it be done? A winning streak?
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
I kind of jest, but certainly 3 wins in a row would represent progress for this Chelsea team under Pochettino. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I do hope that. Genuinely, welcome to your preview of Chelsea and Burnley. Burnley got a win last time out, away at Luton, granted, but they got a win. We're going away to Turf Moor, the stubborn gates of Turf Moor. Trying to breach those, although no longer stubborn gates, because it's not like vintage Dyche big boys team. Now Vincent Kompany is the coach of Burnley. A little bit more tiki-taka and hopefully opportunity for Chelsea to play through the line, score goals, win the game and go into the international break with 3 wins out of 3. We're going to discuss that today. I've built a lineup that we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you how Burnley set up and it's going to be really fun. And hopefully we can be positive about our developments as a football club. Feel free to support the content by dropping a like on the video. You're welcome to subscribe if you think you might dig the content. Turn on the bell if you do. Alright, mate. Wins. We've got wins. Now, Pochettino's press conference is going to start now. And I doubt he's going to say anything sensational. Chelsea have spoken about who's trained. They've published it on their website, who's injured rather, and there's been players pictured in training. Now I could be left with egg on my face here, but spoiler, I'm including Mudryk and Caicedo in my lineup. So maybe I'll be wrong. I'll pin a comment on the video if that's the case. But for the moment, I think I'm probably going to be okay. But let's talk about Burnley. So this is the lineup they had last time out when they went to Luton. Luton, of course, playing 3-4-3, 4-3-3 from Vincent Kompany. As you can see, it's kind of like a little bit more attacking there. Both fullbacks getting booked in that game. They're still not completely settled, Burnley, under Vincent Kompany. They haven't, they had to make a lot of changes in the summer. Of course, they wanted to buy Martson. They agreed a fee for him in the summer transfer window. And there's a few players they wanted in this game. As you can see, away, they actually took less shots than Luton, which perhaps isn't the greatest look. 14 shots, only 4 on target, only edging possession. But a win is a win is a win. Passing accuracy is not that great either, considering they're meant to be a passing team. Yeah, you'd have to think by looking at that Chelsea can just bring the game to Burnley and basically impose our style of playing. So I want to show you the lineup that I've built and talk about how I think we go from here, where we go from here. Right, so here we go. I'm using homecrowd.io to build this. This is my lineup. Now, as you can see here, I've gone for it's essentially a 4-3-3, but that's kind of what we've been seeing a little bit more lately anyway. Obviously, Rob Sanchez will keep his place in goal. We are all waiting to see Georgia Petrovic, but I'm wondering when we will. I guess when the FA Cup starts, if we get a draw against a really lower level team, lower league team, then maybe Pochettino will do that then, but we'll have to see. Right, of course, this is Gusto's final banned game, so Cucurella for me keeps his role at right back, which is a very, a twist that no one saw coming. We've all been waiting to see the best form from Cucurella, and who knew it would come from the opposite side as a left footer. But he has been good, granted more defensively than offensively, but if we can just have a sensible person on this side, this flank, locking down opposition wingers, that's good enough for me at the moment, because it's everyone else up the pitch that we're going to rely on to sort themselves out against opposition they should be scoring against. And absolutely, this is opposition we should be scoring against. So, defenders need to defend. And that's probably why you can afford to play what is almost 4 centre-backs in a back 4. Cucurella, of course, playing a lot of centre-back in a back 3. So, Cucurella starting at right-back. Cole continuing his role at left-back. Which, by the way, he's kind of convincing more and more people that, yeah, maybe this is the best role for him. Of course, Ben Chilwell's going to be out for a few months now, certainly till around Christmas time. And if Martson really isn't going to be utilised as a left-back, Cole looks good there. And while Silva, I know he's 39, provided, I know he's so cultured on the ball, Thiago Silva. He's amazing at passing. He's so good, intelligent, occupying space, telling his fellow teammates around him where to go and when. If he can be protected well enough by Disassi on one side and Levi Colwill on the other, in terms of pace and work rate, then you keep it going. But eventually, one of either Badiashile or eventually Wesley Fofana is going to join that back line at the expense of Thiago Silva. And I don't know, like, do we just keep playing? How long do we keep playing Colwill at left back? I mean, clearly Pochettino really rates him. He's getting forward, making great assists, but he's just not... Because he's a centre-back, he's got these like instincts, these reflexes to just make sure transitions aren't converted into big chances. Getting back, getting in front of his man, getting inside his man, making interceptions. And there's that sort of lockdown security you get. But of course, he's such a cultured passer of the ball with his left foot that he can sort of make these incisive diagonals or switches of player balls over the top. So he keeps his position at left back as well, of course, which does leave the aforementioned Thiago Silva, who can sort of step forwards a little bit and play make as a quarterback himself, and Disassi, who can just sort of be this a bit more covering more ground as a centre half. Obviously, he's a younger player. He's like 14 years younger or something, isn't he? So he can just sort of run about and cover the area while Colwill and Cucurella work the flanks. But like I said, Colwill will get back really well and defend transition, as will Marc Cucurella, apparently. So I think it would kind of look a little bit like this. Silva kind of occupying one space, trying to track a little bit, but generally playmaking and being the overseer, Disassi running around. Yes. And of course, with the midfield free, we are no longer, we haven't as much in the last gaming as Fulham seen this, which is very much a 4-2-3-1 with Caicedo and Gallagher in the double pivot. Fernandes, for my money and a lot of people's opinion as well, being wasted in the number 10. We saw Caicedo sitting as a lone 6 more last game, with Gallagher playing in the right sort of 8 and Fernandes playing in the left sort of 8. And to be honest, it looked way more balanced as a midfield. It looked like it made much more sense. Everyone still works really hard and covered ground. Of course, not least Gallagher, who's been wearing the captain's armband. But everyone looked more comfortable. Certainly Enzo looked a lot better and more comfortable than he has when he's sort of been playing as a number 10, but not knowing when to get back and not really utilising his amazing passing up there. So for me, it's a conventional 4-3-3. Granted, Gallagher might get forward ever so slightly more in the heat map that we saw before, but for me, that's what it looks like, and that's how I want to see it. Of course, this may change. It may have been an anomaly against Fulham in terms of the heat map and what kind of was happening against that opposition. But this is how I'd like to see it, and this is how I feel is good. Now, Mudryk, he's been pictured training with Caicedo. Of course, they both sort of took knocks, but we spoke about it on a video saying it looks like our luck's changing. Of course, this is before the Chilwell news, with Caicedo, Mudryk, and Breuer looking like they're not injured. Mudryk starts. For me, he looks like Pochettino's really starting to put an arm around him. He looks like he can just be devastating in behind. Of course, he's been splitting centre-backs with that inwards run. And with Colwill getting forward, he looks like he's going to nurture that relationship with Mykhailo Mudryk, trying to get that sort of lofted ball to him forward. And Mudryk will try and split centre-halves and run in behind. And of course, with Burnley being a team that want to play with the ball, they are also going to be at home as well. And you got to remember as well that Burnley they've played like this a whole season in the Championship and they walked the league. This is not Sean Dyche's Brexit ball Burnley that suddenly started to try and play, like 1970s Brazil. The fans would be like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we've won a league like this. We enjoyed scoring loads of goals. Let's keep playing how we want, especially at home, especially after an away win. They'll be like, I don't care, it's Chelsea. Let's stick to our principles and play how we can play, which means, Mudryk will get the space to run in behind, whether it's Fernandes feeding like little tight through balls, Colwill doing that pass to him. Mudryk will get space to run in behind. And similarly on the other side, I think Cole Palmer has to start. Even if he didn't get a goal and an assist last time out, he looked the most consistently classy. Of course, he can invert. He likes playing in the pocket as a number 10. In this formation that I'm showing you here, there isn't really a conventional number 10, whereas you could play kind of a diamond, essentially. So he can invert. He's left-footed. He can come inside like that and you can essentially have a diamond. So the diamond would be Fernandes, Palmer, Gallagher, and Caicedo. I mean, that looks pretty tasty. Although, for the moment, I think it will be a little bit more a 4-3-3. So Palmer would be a really, really great choice. Of course, in terms of different options, we can see substitutions from baby girl, where is Maatsen? Maatsen to play over on the left. We know he doesn't play fullback at the moment. And I think Sterling, if he's good to go, I know he had a virus, but he may well start this game, of course, but this is just what I would like to see. Sterling and Maatsen could both feature in the game as rotational options. And similarly, of course, his ban has now been served, Nico Jackson. Before the international break, last time out we saw a start with Breuer. He got a goal, but Breuer also came off because of a knock, and he's not match fit. Jackson is totally match fit. He's well rested, and like Armando Breuer, last time out, he scored a goal. The winner, in fact, against Brighton, and you could make a good argument he should have had a brace with that offside. So Nico Jackson kind of has to start for me, but you can give him 60 minutes, and of course bring on Armando Breuer. So that will be an entirely new front three, essentially, and this is the kind of substitutions I expect Pochettino to use. So bring on Sterling, Maatsen, Breuer, protecting, of course, Mudryk. Hopefully he can affect the game well, and then you can take him off. You might leave Cole Palmer on. You might even go for like a proper 4-2-3-1, and Palmer stays in the 10 and Sterling comes on. But this is what I would expect to see in terms of forward substitutions. And if we are winning, if we are doing well, then maybe, or if we've got a slender lead to defend, I can see something like this happening. Enzo coming off for the final 20 minutes, and of course we know that Pochettino has been leaning heavily on Leslie Ugochukwu of late, and then that is a very, very good. I mean, look at that back seven, essentially. That's very defensive. You got centre back, back three centre back probably, and then you've got CDM, and Conor Gallagher. So Conor Gallagher is the kind of player that's obviously can score goals around the 18-yard box, but he's he's been played in a double pivot a lot, so he kind of can play as a CDM himself. Maatsen is a fullback by trade, and essentially you've just got, you could even end the game like this with Sterling and Breuer running on transitions. Maatsen just sort of working in the number 10, which we've seen Pochettino play him. So he's actually got a really good closing team there as well, Pochettino, and he's not afraid to do it. He's not afraid to play sort of a closing half. Some people were disappointed to see Chelsea sort of shut up shop against Fulham in the second half. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was sort of vintage Chelsea, and it's nice to see Pochettino's already thinking about that. Not like, we're just going to go with our philosophy, gung-ho, and just smash everyone. It's like, no, we've got 2 goals here. Marco Silva seemingly got into the boys at half-time. It's become the Fulham derby, for whatever that is. They seem up for it. Let's just shut up shop. And I enjoyed that, and I actually enjoyed seeing that we can do that in practice in the Premier League at, a relatively high-profile game. So that was really important to me, and I really enjoyed how Pochettino can do that and kind of sort of closed out a game. So we are absolutely expected to win, coming off 2 fixtures that probably are both harder than this one that's coming, you'd have to say. I know this is away from home as well. It's probably going to be quite cold in Turf Moor. I mean, I know the company's coming off a win, but we have to exploit naivety there from a young coach. We have to exploit a team that, much like us, are unsettled yet, but we are better than them, and we need to win this game. I would like to see a relatively comprehensive win. I'm going to predict quite confidently. I have a feeling that we might concede a goal, but I also have a feeling that we might score quite a few goals. I'm gonna predict Chelsea win this game 3-1, which I'll take. 2 goals of plus goal difference. Pochettino winning 3 out of 3. It would be very disappointing not to win this, but we will cross that bridge if and when it comes. And I think Chelsea win this game and walk away with all 3 of those lovely little points. So what do you think, guys? I'll be very interested to learn your thoughts. What do you think of my lineup? What do you think of my ideas and how the game will go and how Pochettino could close out the game? Do you see that coming? Do you see that's come to pass. I'll be very interested in reading your comments, as I always am. Thank you again for your continued support of the channel. And I really look forward to doing a complete breakdown of this game when it's happened. Hopefully it will be a positive reaction and not a negative one. Oi gang, see you in a bit. Peace.